Hey. That was a good start. Keeping that in. All right. We'll try that again. Hey, welcome to Pod of Mercy. I am your host, Longhair Linda, and today our guest co-host is...
Flawless Mr. Take Note.
Mr. Take Note.
Yeah, man.
In the building.
In the building. That
Holy
was a lovely
shit.
intro as well.
Thanks.
That was a lovely, you got me, very talk show-esque intro. I like it.
Appreciate you. Because I woke up today and realised I didn't have any way of introing the episode. So I was like, I'm just going to say what it is, who I am, quick, and just pass it off.
Hey, that's what it is. That's why we out here. You know what I mean? That's what I like. That's why I wanted to sign you to the Talk About It Network, is for that very reason.
Well, listen, we will get to all that.
Yeah.
But as for right now, I wanted to do something that's going to get us warmed up.
All right, cool. That works.
So I'm thinking rapid fire.
I'm down.
10 questions.
Okay.
Kind of like this or that type questions, but you're going to have to
Right.
think quick, answer quicker.
All right, think
Right?
quick, answer quick. Right,
Think
got
quick,
you.
answer quicker. I'm going to put a timer on 60 seconds.
I already know I'm going to go for the 60 seconds. I already know it.
So we got
Go
6
on.
seconds for each one for me to ask the question and you to answer it. You have to
Alright.
get all 10.
All right,
If you don't get all 10, I ain't got a punishment yet, but I'm going to think of one.
I'll do a forfeit.
You gotta do a
I'll do a
forfeit.
shot of vodka or something.
Oh shit, that's what it is now. You said it.
Why did I open my big mouth?
Why?
And say
I don't know
that?
why you did this to yourself. Nobody asked you to do all
No
that.
one said that.
I didn't
You know
even
why?
say of it.
That's me being Batman trying to set up future guests. That's what it is.
That
I'm
is what
trying
it
to
is.
set up future guests.
You know exactly what you're doing, you know. Listen, don't trust Flawless. And all future guests, any problems you have with recording, it is all his fault.
Oh, yeah.
Right, you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's
I'm about
go.
to set the timer.
Alright, set the time.
Alright. Ready? And... Favourite superhero?
Iron Man. No, Black Panther.
Favourite alcoholic drink?
JD and Coke.
Favourite non-alcoholic drink?
The old Lucasade sugar tax with the sugar in it.
What's the first thing you would do if you were invisible?
I'll probably rob a bank.
Jesus! Right, okay. Apple Music or Spotify?
Spotify.
What's your dream job?
Footballer.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
If you could have one of these... If you could only have one of these senses, would you choose touch or taste?
Touch.
Would you prefer to have lots of money or lots of free time?
Lots of money.
Favourite movie?
Training Day.
Oh my god, you did it.
You
You had 8 seconds left.
Record time, you get me? And that's the record time. And I've been sipping on JD and Coke in this big glass that Linda gave me, you get
Right,
me?
listen, first of all, it's a gin glass, okay?
This big wide glass.
it's a gin glass,
This glass
not a
wide.
big wine glass.
I said this wide. Look at it. This shit wide.
Oh, wide.
It's wide, yeah.
Listen, I'm just projecting because low-key one day I had such a bad day that I actually put wine in the gin glass. I was like, my wine glasses aren't big enough for this. I cannot deal with this day. So, I just want to pull up, you said record time. It's the first episode. Of course it's record time.
Of course it is. If you're the only show in town, you're the winner. You're the only horse in the race. You win. That's what it is.
I just needed to
Record
point
time.
that out. I just found that hilarious.
Record time. I like that. That was good.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah,
Do you
I really
feel
did.
warmed up?
Yeah, I do. That's great. That.
I need to make it a bit harder for you then, because how you still had 8 seconds. I thought this would be a lot tougher.
Next time we'll do it again.
Can we just go back to when I asked you what your favourite superhero was?
Yeah.
And I think you only chose Black Panther in the end because you felt like you were going against your race or something. Because I feel like your first answer was the honest one.
You know what? Because obviously the first thing that comes to mind is Iron Man, because that's one. You know what that is? That's because when we go see Avengers, obviously it's me, Tox, normally the Red Lion gang are involved, Briggsy's there, and we're always arguing about like the superheroes in it, and Tox is always on Iron Man's case in it. To me, Iron Man's cold because he's the type of superhero. That is me. That's exactly what I'd be like proper sarcastic arsehole.
You'd
Like that
be
is
rich.
me. Yeah, rich.
And sarcastic as fuck.
It's me. I'm just him without the suit and the money. That's what it is. Literally, innit? Like,
Do you know what? I can relate.
Yeah.
I can relate because
Always clowning around.
imagine,
Yeah,
that's
and
fun.
And the thing is, his suit's fire as well.
I mean, spoiler alert, he dies though, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know he died, innit? Yeah, you have to just crush the dreams. Like, yeah, we know he
Yeah.
died.
But
Because you did say
everyone
living or
dies.
dead. Yeah, I suppose.
Everyone
so.
dies. So
But I really did like
yeah.
Black Panther. But obviously, the first thing that comes to mind was Iron Man. And then obviously, I had an eye on the time as well, innit? That's what it was.
That was the first question we were talking about. So So I liked Black Panther the movie, and I like Chadwick Boseman as an actor. But the actual Black Panther as a superhero?
Yeah, he's not that good, but that's the thing is, I like him for the supporting cast. I said this.
Same.
The worst thing about Black Panther was Black Panther.
Yeah.
The supporting cast helped make the film.
Fire.
But I think in Black Panther 2, they will make him better in it. It's the first one. So I understand in it. Even the first Iron Man wasn't at that level yet, but they'll get there.
I'm just glad that Chadwick Boseman is a good actor, because when they try and take him to the next level, he's going to really need to be invested in it, because you could see immediately after the film, after the 700th person asked him to do the Wakanda Forever, he was like, I don't want to be here anymore. Did you see that all over Twitter? Every single picture of him doing the Wakanda Forever thing across his chest.
You got to get used to that.
His face though, towards the end, at first he's like happy. Yeah. He's like, yeah, support the movie, Black Panther, all that. And
Wakanda Forever, like, you gotta do that.
Afterwards, he's like, you can just tell in his face, he's like, I'm so over it.
Yeah, and these people are invested in it as well. You have to do that. But yeah, superheroes, because it's close. Like, I like the majority of Marvel superheroes. I really like. Same. The majority, apart from War Machine's dry. He needs to go. Friggin' Falcon, Papa Doc from
Black Widow can fuck off. You know how I feel about Black Widow, you know. We had this argument on Twitter. Why Black Widow? I hate Black Widow. Why? Do you know what?
She's so fine in that leather and shit. Like, what do you mean?
Do you know what it is? It's because it's Scarlett Johansson, and I really have an issue with that woman.
Why do you have an issue with Scarlett Johansson? Why not? She fine. She only fine in that. Like, when I see her in other films, she don't look the same. It's the tight level.
It's the leather that you like. It's the leather that you like. We could literally replace anyone with leather, and you'll be fine. But
they gotta be good looking in it. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? She levels. You know what I mean?
Is she?
Yes.
Do you know what it is? I genuinely have, like, I get blindness with people when they say or do something that annoys me. It's like I almost can't see the attractiveness in them anymore. And I thought this just happened with celebrities for me. Right. But it's happened in real life with people I've met. So I've met people and been like, oh wow, they're really attractive. Yeah. Objectively, subjectively, whatever, I'm like, they're very attractive. Yeah, I speak to them. And they say something really dumb or just, you know what I mean? You find out they like something that's weird or whatever. And then all of a sudden, it's not just that I dislike them, but whenever I see them, they're no longer attracted to me. I can't see it anymore.
See that? And that's a proper woman's thing, because from a guy's perspective,
they're still attractive.
They're still attractive. I know girls myself personally. Y'all who I know are absolute dickheads. But I'd be like, yo, she's fire, yeah? But she a dickhead, innit?
If you know she's a dickhead.
If she's offering it up, like, I'm not gonna work for it. You know what I mean? But if she's just offering it up, like, why not?
Seriously, with someone who you call a dickhead, not even just annoying, someone who's a dickhead.
1000%. Do you get me? I've smashed. We use that word because you used it. I've smashed girls who are average.
Wait, are we blaming that on me?
You're blaming that on you, innit? That's what it is. You picked that, innit?
It's fine.
I don't want any women coming at me for saying that. So yeah, I've smashed average women. So it's like,
I think smashed is okay.
Yeah, that's what you picked it, innit? So
I'm from Essex though. I'm vulgar, so it's
smashed. Yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, even if she's a dickhead, if she fire, like, and she's just offering it up, like.
I love that we've gone from very, very, like, you know, very innocent rapid fire straight into she looks good in leather.
She does.
You would smash. How do we do that? Do you know what it is?
Yeah,
it's the Sarcasm City effect.
Is that what it is?
It has to be.
Is it the Sarcasm City effect?
Let me tell you, I am a fan of that podcast.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
I am genuinely a fan. Like, cool. Like, I know you guys in person from battle rap events, and you've always been cool in real life. We get on cool. But genuinely speaking, I am a fan of this shit because a lot of the time I disagree with one or both of you, right? So it's not even a confirmation bias type thing.
Yeah.
It's just because it's funny. Like, it's just so entertaining. Even when I'm annoyed, I'm still laughing, but I'm annoyed.
That's what it is. That's what the show is. Because that, like, without going all into it, that's why we created Sarcasm City, because me and Tox have been having those conversations for over a decade, just in general.
Yeah.
All that is, the camera is user seeing. Like, we don't switch on the camera and then be like, you say this, I say that, and it's gonna go like this. Like, that conversations we have. That's why we be busting up at events, because we having them same conversations at events.
I was literally gonna say, I can attest to that, because I have seen the two of you, especially after the event is done and you lot are relaxing now, you're drinking.
Yeah.
I see you, like, we stand at a bar or something, and I overhear something you two are talking about, and I'm like, I need to go, because I can't.
You get to see it live. This is what it
Because
is.
I just start laughing, and I can't explain to people why I'm laughing at some shit I overheard you two say, because now I have to then repeat it.
Because it's funny. And you said you disagree with one of us or the two of us. So what's the last thing you disagreed with me on that you can think of, or anything?
Ooh, put me on the spot. All right. Okay. No, I got one. I got you.
This gonna be good.
So, all right. So I think it was. So Tox wasn't in that episode. Because I feel like if Tox is in the episode, then I'm always going to disagree with him.
Yeah. You're the wild one. You're the wild one.
But,
what was it?
Shit. So it was the episode with you and the Premier Battles lot. So it was you, Shorty,
Briggsy,
Yan. Briggsy was in the background yelling shit.
LSD.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember exactly what you said, but I think that was the last time I remember thinking, Florida, shut the fuck up. But not in a a malicious way, but in a, if you was in the room, I'd have been like, seriously, what the fuck?
Yeah, we was wilding out.
You lot were wilding. And it felt like what happens when, because I've seen it. I mean, as a kid, I was a bit of a tomboy, right? So I had guy friends, in parts of my childhood. And I've seen what happens when it's just one or two of you. You seem to keep it pretty sane, right? But something happens when there's like three or more.
You gotta understand though, when we was recording that episode, I'm going through trauma at that point because I'm finding out Yanif has had a threesome before. I have.
Listen, we all went through trauma with that.
So it's like, yo,
we've all got PTSD from hearing
I'm
about
like, rah, how's Yanif had a threesome before me? It was a point where Stro was like, yo, Flawless cannot believe this, and I was legit astonished. I'm still in shock now. I'm not over it. I'm like, shout out to Yanif because that's my guy and I'm happy for him. But I'm like, yo, how did you have one before me and don't want to tell the story? That shit crazy, bro.
That's the thing. Like, because he part told it and then he just was like, no, I'm not. I can't reveal anymore. It's like no one's asking for their names. Like, just reveal. We just want to understand how it happened.
This is the best thing ever about you in life. This is what I'm talking.
Okay, I'm not gonna say all that. I'm sure he has other qualities that are great. Other than his ability to have a threesome.
I love you, Yan, you know this.
Alright, so you were saying that basically Sarcasm City was birthed out of, these are just the conversations that you two have.
This is just go on.
I was just going to ask you, like, what made you actually think of, hey, we should actually start a podcast where we film this shit?
So what it was is the fact, like I said, when we just be in regular conversation, so it would be me, Tox, and then obviously the team was bigger when we was younger. And even when we was walking around, or we like just getting around at the ends, or we'd be on bus, when we conversating about shit, I noticed from early that random people would always be cracking up about jokes about shit that we saying, and I'm like,
you two are wild. You two are wild.
So that's what it was. So I'm like, and then obviously I'm a big listener of podcasts, Brilliant Idiots, Flagrant 2, stuff like that, and
I can't do Flagrant 2, you know.
You don't like Flagrant 2?
Every time I try, even Westeros, I kept trying to get into Westeros because I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. Yeah. I found I can only listen to Andrew Schultz outside of his stand-up specials when Charlemagne's there to temper him a little bit.
That's probably what it is then.
Because he goes a little bit, he does too much when it's just like Akash and all them.
Yeah, because Akash encourages him, because he's a fellow comedian, so he pours fuel on the fire.
Yes, he really, really
pours fuel on the fire.
Akash is funny.
Yeah, Akash is bare funny.
Dude, it's funny.
Akash is bare funny, innit? And then the fact that he will laugh so hard at Andrew's jokes, it encourages him. Kind of like what I do with Tox.
Yes.
That's what Charlemagne does with Schultz, where he'll temper him a bit. Hence why even though I know I do that with Tox, that's why I want to see Tox on other podcasts, including this one, when I'm not there, to see how far he will go. I want to see what happens.
You said even this one. I have a couple things I want to talk to him about, but you know when I'm just like,
it'd be great.
What the hell is this man about to say?
You never know.
I don't know.
You never
do not know.
This is what it is.
He's a wild card. Like you're both wild.
Yeah.
But he's how did you go from 1 to 800? I don't understand how this happened.
This guy went from 1 to 875. You're like, yo, I hear that. So yeah, that's what it was. So I was like, people obviously, and that been happening for years. It wasn't just one or two things.
You guys went to college together, right?
Yeah, we went to college together. Yeah. So we met in 06. So it's like ever since then, it's been like, and then obviously the team around us. And then obviously we was making music and stuff like that, was doing other bits.
Shout out Take Note.
Yeah, don't know.
Note 161.
Yeah, Note 161. Shout out Scorps as well, done no. So that's what it was based off. And I was like, yo, why don't we just start our own podcast? Because like, what's the worst that can happen? And obviously at that point we was battling, and on social media, like, we had like people were always how do I describe it now? Sorry, this JD and Coke I'm drinking stuff.
No, it's all good. It's all good. That was the plan.
Well, it's like we got the petty label and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like when stuff happened, like especially in the forum when the forum was good, people would tag us and shit.
Man said when the forum was good. It's fact. No, it's true.
The
Sorry,
golden
took me
era.
out.
It was the platinum era when we was there. Like when me and Tux and Scorps was there and that, like with the whole that whole meme era. Like we started that.
Talk
shit.
about it. You guys were
we started
all the
that whole
meme shit.
thing.
That was you lot.
That was us. Like we started that. Like
you lot trolled everyone.
Oh yeah, we trolled.
You took no prisoners. Do you know what's funny? When I first met Tox, I think it might have been either last year or the year before.
Yeah.
And I'd had a couple drinks.
Yeah.
So I just say what's on my mind at that point, right? So I walked up to him. He was talking to somebody next to me, and I walked up to him and I said, I'm not gonna lie, Tox, you scared the shit out of me. And he's looking at me with the face that he made. He's like, what are you talking like I just hurt his feelings or something? And I was like, I don't know you, but you guys online, you kill everyone.
You smoke everyone.
There's no one is safe. You guys can be literally friends with this person and you're killing them online. That shit took me out. I was like, what if I ever get on the wrong side of you lot?
And that's exactly what it was. So obviously when we battling and stuff like that, people we never initiated it. Like we started the meme shit and certain battlers, I ain't gonna give them no shine, hated the fact that we was getting shine on forums. Like the certain battlers who to this day I've still got bigger to this day shout out to Deontay Wilder. I've been on bigger stages than me and have had bigger battles, but they hated the popularity that we was getting because at first all we got was full negativity and like it was 120%, 360 degrees of just pure negativity from all fans across all platforms. But then, because most battlers, especially at our levels when we starting up, won't say shit back. No. But then when we started saying shit back, people started to come on side. Like, yo, these men are funny. Because
Do you know what it was? I think the reason you guys got hate was because it was unexpected. Yeah. And I also think the reason you guys got love was because it was unexpected.
That's what it was.
I think that's why it changed. There was no one event that happened or one thing that you lot did that made everyone come on your side. No. It was just the fact that, that's what these guys are like. And this shit's funny.
And it's bad funny.
Because I feel like as soon as people were able to start laughing at themselves, because even when you were coming at them, once they realised this shit is funny, even if it's about me or if it's about my friend, or it's still funny.
Funny is funny, and then we was like picking holes in people and stuff like that, and then and then a lot of battlers as well seem to do this. I don't know why. I think this might just be life. Like they'll put up a status about something and then the next day it'll be completely different. So the whole screenshot era, that came from us. Steph Curry with the screenshot, like that was us. Like we started all that shit and then we put it up and then people be like, oh shit, these niggas is right, like and then people couldn't ever pull our card because we consistent. Like Tox is a consistent asshole, I'm consistent, we all consistent at what we do. So that's where that stemmed from, that's what it was. And then off of that, that's when we put out about the podcast. People was like, yo, I tuned into this, innit? And then obviously a lot of battle rap shit, because people wanted to know a lot about how shit had started, because people never see the initiation, and a lot of people, everybody, especially me, everybody I've had issues with, always said something to me first, or I inherited it from Tox, and it's
usually inherited.
Yeah, it's usually inherited. I'm like,
he would talk out the side of his mouth, and then everyone will be like, it must have been flawless too, because
like you said this, you're to blame. I don't know what happened. Yeah, me and Tox used to all the time in it. Like we take turns. Like I'd be working at that point. I was working nights and shit. He'd be working in the day. So like we'd be on the phone. Like I've been on the phone into work. Like yo, fam, I'm on the way into work. I'm not about you handle this till I get back. And I'd be like, alright, cool. And then that's how we did this. Like shifts. Shout out to Mitch. Mitch said it because Mitch was like, yo, don't go out take note online because these man will take shifts and rubbing you out. Like we took it like a job.
Yeah, someone can sleep, the other person's still going,
that's what we
the other
did.
Person listen.
That's and then
that's like a formation type shit. Like that's fucking soldiers at war and shit. Like
because that's how we treated it, but it was funny. And it's still to this day, people who have still got certain tags from us, but it's like, we chill.
A lot of people, do you know what's funny? I've noticed this because as soon as I started, because obviously I'd paid attention to both of you battling, but as soon as I started paying attention to Sarcasm City, I was a little bit late on it. I started to notice that a lot of battlers who had been talking shit about you guys, who didn't, or even if in person you guys got on well, online they portrayed as if you guys aren't cool. A lot of the stuff they then started to do was what you lot did.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
I was like, oh, so you spotted that the formula works, but instead of just owning it and being like, I'm cool with these man.
This is what I'm saying.
And that's so cool that they did that. I'm giving it a go, because I'm always about giving credit.
This is what I'm saying.
Like,
just pay homage.
Nothing is new under the sun, right? Yes. So the likelihood in 2019, especially, of you coming up with a completely original idea, like, people will give you billions if you could do that, because it's so hard to do that, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And so all you have to do is be like, oh yeah, I'm doing XYZ, or I'm trying this. And you know what? I got the inspiration, or I got the idea from them.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Just be honest.
That's what it is.
But I see quite a few, I've noticed it a few times, where like people who would say shit about you would then try about a specific thing you were saying or doing. Then all of a sudden I see them start doing it, and I'm like,
and it's like, it don't work like that, because we stand on our shit. So whether it comes
and also it's not authentic.
This is what I'm saying. And the thing is, people see through that. Especially people like you, see through that in an instant.
You see through it.
How many podcasts have come and gone in the time Sarcasm City? We just had a 3-year anniversary.
All I'm going to say is, how many podcasts have talked shit about you, and now
there we go with it. And we don't even have to name names, because they're not worth it. I'm all for war.
I'm going to name a name you forgot.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if we're going to be all the way honest about it.
This is what I'm saying. And I'd rather, like, if there was I'm all for warring with another podcast if it's worth it, but it's like, you just haven't done anything for me to make it worth it. I'd love to
make
now
sense.
mention it. It's got to make sense in it,
because the whole point of warring with a competitor is to be competitive.
Yeah,
and if they're not even a competitor, then what's the point?
There's no point, because Thingy tried that. The only one worth mentioning now that tried that at the start was they still got subs, is Bar Resume. That's it. He tried it. Now he on side. Tox is cool with him, but I'm still
I've got to be honest with that. I don't know if he necessarily tried it. I think he just didn't get it. And his first instinct, to his detriment, not detriment because nothing happened to him, but like the only downside I can see was that he spoke before he actually understood what you lot were trying to do.
Yeah.
And then, but I think now he gets it, and I think that's probably why Tox is cool with him, because he's like, I get that they're in their own lane. Whereas initially he probably thought, what's going on?
Like that.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm guessing, I'm assuming. Listen, I've not spoken to him about it, so I don't know his viewpoint on it. I'm just assuming. But as an outsider looking in, I think he just spoke before he understood what was going on.
It's a possibility.
He understood it and was like, oh, everything's cool.
That's a possibility. I'm just very unforgiving, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, I like that about you then.
It's a very unforgiving. But that is a possibility. Like, it's like he tried to get us out of here, and then it's like he realised, right, this is their block now, so it's what it is. Like, because there is still a lane for that shit.
Of course.
But that's for them plain Janes, innit? People who like that shit, that's what that is, innit?
I'd like to point out that I didn't say plain Janes.
Yeah. That's not no. Put that on me. That's me. That's flawless. Mr. Take Note who said that. That's not on Linda.
Definitely.
Because no one tried war here. Because any issues with her or Pod of Mercy, you got issues with me in it. So I'm telling you that now.
Listen, I love that sentiment, but I'm good.
Try and defend you.
No. I legit no. I appreciate it so much, but like, I feel like if anybody actually tries me online, because I find online beef really dumb. Like, real beef, I find it very stupid. If everyone's trolling, having a good time, cool, I like it. But if people have real problems online, I find this doesn't make any. You can't be upset when there's so much funny shit happening on Twitter. I don't understand.
Love that looks meme. Look at you, emotional.
I love that. All right, well, because obviously we touched on it a little bit with Battle Rap Resume. So obviously you guys record and talk and joke and have your sarcasm about battle rap. What do you prefer, the battle rap episodes or the current affairs?
Definitely the current affairs.
I knew you'd say that.
Definitely, without question, the current affairs. Like, me and Toxa spoke about this, and the reason why we prefer the current affairs is because the reason why UK battle rap suffers is because there is no characters out here. Not all, but the majority of the engaging characters that people fuck with and have an opinion of don't battle. Tox don't battle like that. He's like here and there. I don't battle at all. I put you in that. You're an engaging character. Like, people respect your opinion. Like, Shotty don't battle too often. Stroh's the same. Like, there's too many people who are just, I've said it before, bagels, where people, they don't like you or dislike you. They have no opinion on you, and that's the worst.
Hold up. The only thing I'm going to disagree with is bagels are fire.
The bagels are, but when I say bagel, I'm talking, you don't eat a bagel dry in it.
Okay. No.
There we go then. So when I say bagel, I'm talking about just a dry, stale bagel. That's what these lot are.
Can you just say it's like a slice of bread?
I say bread.
Because you can get flavoured bagels, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but when I say that, I'm just talking about stale
like
bagels. Well, since it's your podcast, we'll say brown bread.
Wait, white bread.
Alright, white bread.
Brown bread is fire.
I prefer white bread, but it is what it is.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't eat no white bread.
Because white bread's more unhealthy, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's my shit. That's why. That's why shit tastes better in it. That's what it is. But yeah, that's why. So that's the issue that UK battle rap has. Because even when UK battle rap went through its golden era, there was characters. Now there's not that many characters.
Nuts? That's the thing about the characters is that sometimes, and that's probably not a good thing either, but sometimes it can make you forget that they don't have the necessary talent that they should have. But at least if they were a character, it was okay.
It's a character.
You know what I mean? As long as there were still talented people in the scene, and then you had the characters.
You mix it in.
It was so... I remember that age of like... That age. I took about a long time ago. It really wasn't. It was only a few years ago.
Many years ago.
But like, I remember when it was... You were guaranteed... You were almost guaranteed to get something great out of every battle put out from an event. Right? Whether it was because it was trash.
Yeah.
As in, one person was trash and the other person just did nothing but point out how trash it was in that battle, right?
Like that.
I use the example of the HK battle with Soul Jitsu.
Yes, I was there. I was front and center for that.
I never wished to be live for an event in my whole life as I have for that, because I watched it on YouTube like, why am I not? It's Fiddler's Elbow, right? Why am I not in the Fiddlers right now watching this with my own two eyes? Because this
shit was great. Like, that's why you see me front and center for that battle. I've got my head down because Scorps is busting joke throughout that battle.
Let me tell you something. Deontay Wilder to this day.
To this day.
If you don't understand what I'm talking about, you need to go on Twitter more. It is a meme. It is amazing. To this day, I still say sneaker bow. Because HK tried to make sneak bow fit into 3 syllables and rhyme with whatever the word said he said before. I don't even know what he said before. I just know sneaker bow. And to this day, sneaker bow will jump into my head and I'll start busting to myself, like just laughing to myself. I look crazy.
Yeah, of course.
And I love things like that. And I think it was because even when they were bad, they were good.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because the thing is with that, what helped make that is that Soul Jitsu, even though he's a good battle rapper, is a character. Like, there's something to him. You either like him, you dislike him, you think he's hilarious. Like, there's something to him. Like I said, there's just too many default characters in the scene now.
Right.
Just bland, just bars. And then some of them ain't even got bars. So it's like some of you
some of you have no character or bars. You have to have at least one.
You have to have one. Look at O Solo. Look at O Solo. I've never watched a full O Solo battle, but I know who he is. And if a clip pops up, your father's mother on your uncle's side. That's hilarious.
That's so true.
That's
so true, because that's what I know about him.
Your father and mother on your uncle's side. Like, that's just the prime example using O Soul. And that's not someone who is lyrically bar heavy and one of the best battle rappers in the world, but he's a character. He found his lane. He does something entertaining. But it is what it is.
Okay, so I see why then you prefer current affairs to battle rap, because there's a lot
more
more you can talk about, a lot more you can joke on as well. It gives you some kind of energy you can feel.
I think me and Tox, do a tremendous job regarding the lack of characters. Like, we're not with the best ingredients, but we're still cooking up great food.
You make something out of nothing, that's for damn sure. All right. Well, with that being said, I don't know if it's tied in with the future of battle rap or not, but what does the future of Sarcasm City look like to you?
Future of Sarcasm City? Still to gain more followers, gain more subscribers, just overall become a bigger and better brand, definitely. Especially being tied in with the network as well. I want to do more podcast collaborations, including with yourself, for an example. And just continue to get bigger and better. And myself and Tox doing Sarcasm City, it will only get better because we still now it's just natural. Like, we can take 2-3 weeks off and come back and still be. So and just getting bigger guests. Like, I want to definitely get a more variety of guests outside of battle rap, but we're very selective with our guests. We won't just get any guest because he's got big numbers. And we won't, like, it's still someone who has to fit into the show. And with someone again who's a bit bagely, it's like,
honestly, I'm gonna start using that in my real life.
Yeah, it's a bit bagely.
All right, so talk about it. Talk about the Talk About It network, and what made you think let's
So the idea for the network I've had almost as long as I had the idea for the podcast. So when I told Tox about the idea, he was like, "It's sick," but I was like, "We have to get Sarcasm City right and correct first before we launch the network, because it's like we're gonna make mistakes with Sarcasm City, which we did because with Sarcasm City there was no blueprint, there was nothing I could look at in the UK and be like, do it like this. Like if you're setting up a battle league, you have a blueprint to go through, and you do this and this type of venue,
and
get these type of battles, and you don't do this and that. But with podcasting over here in the UK, because I said it 3 years ago, podcasting is going to blow up over here in 2-3 years, and it's getting to that point where lots and lots of people have created podcasts, and some have come and went. Some I like have come and went, but then obviously some have fell by the wayside because they're not good enough. So that's why I decided. So it was like, let's get Sarcasm City right. Then once we got that right, I was like, okay, let's launch the network. And I had the network idea in my head, and I was like, all right. The reason why I wanted to create a network as well, because there was no home for Sarcasm City. Shout out to the Pod Bros network, because that was the network we was on.
Yeah.
And I was all the way in Detroit. Shout out to Pod Bros. Still nothing but love for them. Like, they helped us tremendously. So then after, when I was searching, I was like, there's no network. It's like, let's create our own and get our own type of podcast on it. That's why I was like the most entertaining, wild, authentic podcast. Like that was my vision for it, because it's to get people, including yourself. This is why you was one of the people I had in mind who I think will have a very successful podcast. Shout out to Red Lion, they're on a hiatus at the minute, but they're the same as well. I seen them, I'm like, you got talented.
Red Lion.
Yeah, Red Lion.
They make me laugh so much.
Yeah, they're hilarious.
Yeah. Well, it's awesome that you had the thought of it, because like we've had this discussion a lot in terms of like we're both the type of people that just have a whole bunch of ideas in our head constantly, and you just, the thing I like most about you, other than the fact that you just come across genuine in everything you're doing, but like you have ideas and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna try it, I'm just gonna do it. And I love the attitude, because that's something that I struggle with, and I was saying to you before we started recording that like I wish it was just because I was lazy. I wish I could just say, the reason I don't do all the things I want to do is because I'm lazy, I can't be arsed. Because then I have an excuse. The thing that I do is I'm like, I think about it and plan it, and I go, well, you know what, it's not perfect yet. Logically, I know if I'm starting something, it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah. But that's a good thing though, because the thing is with Pod of Mercy, like, I tell you this to you, and I tell the people, everyone listening, should I say, that you the most prepared ever been. Like, you prepare more than us now. Like, you was prepared for it. Like, you give me pages, like multiple pages, like spread pages, you get me, to be like, right, this is the plan, this is short term, this is long term. I've been Sarcasm City, even now to this day, again, shout out Deontay Wilder. Like, when me and Tox are recording, it'll just pull up, I'll be like, what we talking about? What we got, this topic and this topic, and then record. That's as much thought that goes into it, whereas yours is, you have segments like the quick fire thing, so you're gonna make much less mistakes than Sarcasm City made.
I think it's more of like what works for each individual person, because you guys come across as authentic. I don't think you need to plan shit out, because what works for you works for you. But for me, I think I find comfort in planning it out, because the funny thing is, a lot of the time I probably won't even stick to the plan, right? Because it's gonna depend on who the guest co-host is and what kind of conversation we have. You know what I mean? It will just go wild or whatever. But I always find comfort in a plan. So if I plan something and I say, well, listen, in the short term, I want to just get in the habit of, that's why I wanted to put out episodes like every other week, because I don't want to tell you I'm going to do something every week and I get busy at work and I can't do it that week.
That's fair enough.
I'd rather, under promise and over deliver than over promise. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I want to be at least knowing that I'm going to do that as the bare minimum.
That's fair enough.
I don't want to say I'm doing something and then, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't.
I totally understand, because I'm like that with the plan, but then I know I'm very reactive, so it's like, all right, I thought this is going to go well, and it's not gone so well, or something that's not gone so well has gone well. Because the thing is, I noticed, I think I put this out, I spoke about this, but I tweeted about it when I was looking at the numbers for Sarcasm City, and it's like 2 of our top 5 episodes are just episodes of me and Tox. 3 of our top 7 is just me and Tox. Because that was very important to me in terms with Sarcasm City. Obviously, you want to have guests on and have great guests and great conversation, but we're not a podcast that relies on guests for numbers.
It's the conversation.
People come to see us. Like, I'm like, obviously the guests are the stars, but we the stars too. So people are coming to see us.
Let me tell you, you guys are 100% the stars, because it's all about the conversation. Because I think that in general about like podcasting anyway, I think that's why it's so popular now. Because
I fully agree.
Like, we're in a stage where we're super like, we talk to everyone all the time online, but we don't really have conversations like that anymore, in my opinion, right? But I think podcasting is a great way of being able to tune in to a conversation that's happening, whether you're just listening or watching or whatever. And you almost feel like you're the best podcast. You feel like you're part of the conversation.
You want to get involved in the conversation. Like, you respond.
Like, you have a viewpoint. I do that shit. I I know that when I respond to, if I ever I try to give podcasts a try. If I'm trying a new podcast, I want to give it a go, maybe 2, maybe 3 episodes. Yeah. If by the 3rd episode I ain't said nothing back to the podcast like they can hear me, that's not the podcast for me.
I hear that.
That's what I literally do, and that's how I was able to pick, because I listen to a lot. That's how I was able to pick what I listen to, because I am, in my job, I'm like a busybody. I'm doing this, that, and it helps me when I'm multitasking to have something in my ears other than just music, because sometimes I want to dance and I can't, so I get annoyed. So podcasts help me with that, and listening to these conversations help me, and I feel like they help a lot of people, because why else can they be this popular right now?
Yeah, like I've heard, like that's the greatest thing when you get feedback. People be like, "Oh, I was listening to this. I was driving whilst I was working. Or I was in work listening to it." Or
there's always a time you can listen.
Yeah, like people be like, "Oh, I was next to my missus, and she's like, what are you laughing at?"
Yeah,
like, stuff like that.
Then you have to explain.
Yeah, you have to explain what it is, innit?
Talk some flawless and something wild.
Said some wild shit. Said some wild shit.
Well, because you do radio as well, right? Well, I know you did Mic Check Media.
Yes. You see, this is what I like. You come prepared and that. Yeah,
the reason I come prepared is because I listen to all this shit. And I know that you're working on your football podcast as well.
Yeah, so shout out to
football radio show. So.
Yeah, so shout out to the whole Mic Check Media gang. I'm hosting their event coming up October 31st, people. So that's at Atmo. £3. Obviously, I'm always one. I plug whenever I can in it. Promo.
Listen, you have to.
October 31st. That's the Halloween special. It's only £3 entry. Atmo. Like pull up. Like I said, Briggsy came to the last one, as did Nick. They loved it. The atmosphere was good. It was only 150 people. Yeah, 150 people turned up, which is a good turnout. Even I was shocked, so I'm co-hosting that. I'm
going to try and come to it, but I'm not going to lie. I will have had surgery 2 weeks before that.
That's fair enough, then, isn't it?
And listen, they told me I can't lift anything more than £10 for 6 weeks.
That's what he said.
My handbag is £10. I don't know how that's going to work for me. I'll try.
That's fair enough. So yeah, with the radio, obviously, when I left the Mic Check team, obviously I'm no longer on the show, but I do have my own. I'm organising it, trying to get I've got the 2 co-hosts together, and it's be a football radio show on a radio station in Manchester. More details to be announced soon.
Yeah. Sick. All right. Well, I wanted to move on to the next segment. I think that was a good.
That was good. I'm enjoying this. This is great. I'm enjoying this.
So, all right. This is a segment I thought of, right? Because basically I'm very judgmental in my life.
Okay,
and as I grow up and become an adult or whatever this bullshit is, I'm trying to be less judgmental of people, because I don't want people judging me for shit. So I don't want to do it to other people, right? I'm trying to chill out a little bit.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't judge people. I'm like, don't judge me. But the thing is, I'm very honest with my shit. Like anything, I'm very honest. Like I'm open.
Same. But everyone's not like that.
Yeah.
And not everyone can take criticism the way we can. You know what I mean? I feel like if I say something to you, because I'm not trying to be malicious, you're like, whatever, it is what it is, right? Or you take it on board if you think it applies, or you ignore it if you don't. But some people, it will really affect them. So I'm trying to be like, you know what? Even in my head, let me just chill out. So I figured if I have a place like this podcast that I can just judge a situation or a person, in my regular life, I'll judge people less. That's the plan. I don't know if it's going to work, but that's the plan. So I want to create this segment called Mahakama.
Okay.
Mahakama is Swahili. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right.
That's how it is now, isn't it?
I need to speak to my mom and find out. So it's Swahili for court.
Okay.
As in, a judge, court case. Yeah. Now, it's not got anything legal in it because we're not trained. This is not our area of expertise. But I figured people judge, right? So you need a space to judge. You need a good space, a court, mahakama.
Court of mercy.
We're going to just talk about a situation that I've just randomly seen.
All right.
I'm going to get your feedback.
I'm all for this.
I'm going to give my feedback. And then at the end, we're going to say, are we giving them mercy or no mercy?
Yeah, I like that. I like this.
Yeah?
This is the fire segment, by the way. I'm telling you this, I've told you this privately.
I mean, you have to hear it first.
Yeah, it's a fire segment idea. Whether you get mercy or not, pot of mercy. Like, that's genius.
Well,
that's genius, that. I'm telling you, innit?
Listen, keep it flawless in the clip. I know Top says this all the time, but I'm taking that saying because there is nobody more positive with my shit than you. So, all right.
Because you talented, that's why, but go on, continue. That's
Listen,
what it
is. I appreciate it. So, do you know who Nicole TV is?
No idea. Nicole TV.
Did you see that meme on Twitter where like this girl was basically like she had really fire pictures on Instagram and then in person she ain't have
Oh, she's the black girl.
and she's doing this.
She's the black. I didn't know her name yet. Black girl.
So Nicole TV is, and if you're listening, obviously we've got no visual, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, just type in Nicole TV.
I didn't know that was her name, but I know the name you're talking
she's actually
about.
a YouTuber. I didn't know that was her name until she did something else before this one that low key went viral, but not as big as this.
Yeah.
And I was like, this girl is funny.
Yeah.
She is funny, and the fact that she took the piss out of herself, like, yeah, I don't look like my Instagram pictures. I'm looking with you. Like, I love that energy.
I'm looking with
Now,
you.
obviously, she went viral because of this meme of like, you know, from her video that she made. Now, she was recently-ish, a video came out of her. She was talking about how like men are approaching her and it's a little bit scary or whatever. She was with her 2 friends in the video. One of them's like doing an IG story or whatever. So she's laughing with her friends and then she says the following, quote, "They scaring me. I'ma say I'm trans. No, I don't want to get shot. N-words, don't play about that." So basically she was like, I'm just going to start saying I'm trans so that they can stop hitting on me. And but then, wait, hold on. I don't want to get shot. So, you know, obviously there's an epidemic at the moment, you know, with black trans women being killed.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And so you could kind of see it in real time happening in her head. Her saying, "Oh, this is funny. I'm gonna say I'm trans. They can stop hitting on me. Oh, wait, hold on, wait. People getting shot." But because she said it out loud, of course, Twitter trying to cancel her. People went nuts. Saying, you know, that's not funny, like you're transphobic, like you don't even care about how trans people are, like people are getting killed, this isn't funny, it's not joke, da. So she then came out with apologies straight away, like almost immediately. She was like, you know what, I wasn't even thinking, let me read her actual apologies.
Yeah, let's hear her apology.
And then you can let me know what you think.
Alright.
I'm trying to find it first of all.
It's all good. Pardon mercy,
Where the
people.
hell did I put it?
First episode, make sure you get tuned in. Share this video, retweet, like, comment, all of that stuff.
All
subscribe,
of that good stuff.
all of that. And of course, we're going to get Linda on Sarcasm City at some point soon as well. So that's going to be fun as well.
I'm going to try my best to not kill talk.
It is, isn't it? Like,
I'm
I've
doing
come
my
over
absolute
into
best.
her world here, so
Yeah.
she's going to come over. But it's all the Talk About It Network universe, you feel me? It's a whole universe. It's like the Marvel universe out here. We got loads of different characters.
Are we comparing Talk About It to Marvel?
That's
I
the
like
plan.
that energy.
Yeah, that's the plan.
As long as we're not DC, I'm cool.
Yeah, we ain't fuck that. We ain't DC in it. No Batmans and Supermans over here in it.
Allow it. Okay. As if I just said allow it, right? Okay. So she tweeted pretty much straight away. In an earlier video, I made a comment that offended the trans community.
Yeah.
I was aggressively approached by men, so I said, I'ma say I'm trans, knowing that will scare a straight man off. And then I said, no, I don't want to get shot. N-words, don't play about that, because I know insecure straight men are actually killing trans people. I've reached out to my trans friend, Tyler, and apologized, even though he didn't see the video, but I sent it to him. Now I'm making myself clear publicly to those that brought it to my attention. Sorry, y'all.
Jesus.
So here's...
Yeah, go on.
I'm gonna say my piece on it,
say your piece.
and then I want to hear what you think.
Yeah, say your piece.
So for me, I love that she apologized quickly, because we all say stuff and then we don't really necessarily, we think it's funny, and then maybe somebody gets offended, and then the best thing to do is just be like, make yourself clear. Listen, I'm not transphobic.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't the funniest thing to say or the best thing to say.
It was a dead joke.
But it is what it is, right? Because I feel I'm one of these people. I mean, we both like battle rap, so we like offensive shit, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
But like, I'm one of these people. If it's funny, even if it's supposed to offend me,
Yo,
I
funny is
will
funny.
crack up.
Funny is funny, and that's where she made the mistake.
just
That's not
wasn't funny.
Nah, it wasn't funny.
Yeah,
if
and
she
I
would have
think
come
that was the
with
issue.
if she would have come with a funny response to that, because I feel for any female who's, I don't even say attractive, any female. I've seen average females like get swarmed by guys, so I understand the frustration that females can have of guys. So I understand her fully on that.
Let me
point.
tell you something.
Fully on that point.
As
I know
a
you get it.
woman,
you get catcalled. All
let
that.
me tell you something, okay? I've always said this about the biggest difference between women and men. It does not matter what you look like, what you do, what you have. If you are just female,
Yeah, that's it.
or present as female.
Yeah.
Right?
You tick the boxes.
That's it.
It's the one box.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
So I understand that point. For me, like you say, it just wasn't funny.
No, it wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny.
And if you're trying to get guys to... Yeah, she could have come up with something different. Whether she was being serious or not. If you would have come up with something funny, it would have been different. Telling me you're a lesbian, it's not a better joke, but no one would have been offended by that.
True.
Nobody would have been offended by
story.
that.
Yeah,
no one would have been. If she was like, I'm going to start telling guys I'm lesbian, this shit wouldn't be news.
So is it good the fact that she apologised straight away?
I think she had to be honest.
But do you think it was good that she did it? Like, did it help her apologising?
Would she have been cancelled? Probably, because I think there's probably some I can't speak for transphobic people, but obviously transphobic people, some are probably like, alright, she apologised, cool. Some are probably like, nah, fuck us, she's against us. So it's what
you mean
it is.
trans people?
Yeah, trans people.
Transphobic are the people that don't like
trans people, you know. That's why people in it. This JD and Coke has licked me in it. This is the Fugazi all over again.
Not my fault. Alright, here's my thing on it. Here's my take on it. I like that she apologised quickly, because I think some people feel like they don't need to apologise, which is fine, live your life. But for me, I feel like, alright, if I said something that I thought was going to be funny and it wasn't funny enough to take away from how it offended people, right? So if the funny didn't overshadow the offensive, then just apologise and get over with, right? Because if you didn't mean to offend people, it shouldn't be hard for you to say, listen, my bad.
That's true.
The thing that caught me off guard was she was like, I even spoke to my trans friend, Tyler.
That's the worst. That's the white people. That's the white people to cut you off. That's when the white people be like, I'm not racist. I've got a black friend. Yeah, it's that shit.
That's the first thing I thought. I've got a black friend.
Don't do that. Like, that's why I went, when you was reading it out, I was like, nah.
Because I'm glad that you kind of laughed at the same bit, because it's like, wait, what? Like, we don't need to do all that. Just be sorry and move on.
Nope.
Alright, well, I'm going to put it to you then. So, does she deserve to be cancelled or not? Mercy or no mercy?
Yeah, mercy. She don't deserve to be cancelled. Yeah, 1000% mercy. I'm unforgiving, but yeah, she deserved. I don't think it was malice. It was just a bad joke because she ain't funny like us, innit? That's what it is. This is literally what it is, isn't it?
Does she know she's funny? She is funny. Her in her face, she's funny. When she's doing a video, she's funny.
That was just a bad joke.
But the joke itself, I don't think the joke worked.
But that's why you shouldn't be like, that's me. That's why on social media, like, I'm not serious. I talk on zero serious issues. Racism, anything like we're talking about now with like trans people, anything, religion, politics. I don't talk about none of that shit. Like, my social media, I'm there to promote what I've got going on and for the bants. The elite bands, that's it. That's literally it. And hear my own voice, get my own jokes off in it. Because I really think I'm funny. So it's like, get my own jokes.
You are funny, but I think what makes it even funnier is when you laugh at your shit.
I laugh at my own jokes all the time. That's what it is.
I agree though. I think mercy fair as well. There's so much shit happening that you should be upset about. That is,
but the thing is, we live in an easily offended era where people want to be offended by everything. That's what it is. We live in an easily offended
People
era.
make money and get clout off being offended though.
There we go with it. It's just
so they have
soft.
to be.
It's like people can't scroll past stuff on social media. Like, the amount of stuff I scroll past on social media, I don't agree on. But I can scroll past it. People have to comment. It's like, just scroll past it. Like, I'm trying to get to where's the banter in it. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Where's the funny stuff?
Where's the funny stuff in it? Where's the inappropriate memes and things of that nature that are gonna make me laugh? That's what it is. My Facebook, Twitter, all of that, I be retweeting, cracking like. I be laughing all the time on social media. That's genuine laughter. I love that shit. That's what I'm there for. Share inappropriate shit. And the people I'm friends with and follow on Twitter and that, they share inappropriate shit. I love that shit. That is my shit. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I understand in it. I get it. This is what I'm here for. Like, I fully understand it. So, I think people expect it from me as well.
I do sometimes get serious because I can't help it. Sometimes I'm trying not to be serious the whole day. I'm trying to just like laugh and just be cool, and then some wild shit will happen and I'm like, this is on my mind and I just have to get it out. We're gonna end it there. We drank too much JD too quick, I think.
It's all good. I'm good. I've enjoyed the episode though. This has been a great first episode.
Wow. I've had fun.
I had a lot of fun. This has been good. I'll be back on a regular basis. This is great.
Sick. We'll do it. We'll just do that. I won't have guest co-hosts. We'll just have you. Just come back. Just come back and talk shit.
I'm all for that, innit? I will let you end the show.
All right. That's pretty much it. I don't have an ending planned. If I'm honest. Tune in every other Wednesday.
Yeah, just say Pod of Mercy. And thank you for tuning in.
What he said.
There you go.
Pod of Mercy. Thank
Pod
you
of
for
Mercy.
tuning in.
Yeah, Pod of Mercy. I'll have to do it then. Pod of Mercy on the Talk About It Network, hosted by long-haired Linda. Make sure you tune in. Available on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and soon to be iTunes.
Can you just follow me around and plug my shit?
I got you.
Cool. Bye.